The sound of modern day hip hop is often referred to as trap, and it's one of the most popular genres out there at the moment. I want to show you how you can write some of the most essential trap chord progressions in FL Studio, and the best thing is, you don't need any music theory knowledge for this. Let's jump into FL and get into it. One of the first things I would recommend you doing when you write chord progressions from scratch is start off with a sound that is very clear, doesn't have too much texture, isn't washed out like a pad. So my go-to is a piano. And in FL Studio, you've got FL keys, not the most beautiful, realistic sounding piano, but gives you the clarity that you need to write chord progressions. Once you open up the piano roll, you can go up to this arrow, View, Scale Highlighting, and you can choose the scale you want to write in. Minor chords often sound darker, which is what you want for a trap beat. I like to start off in G minor. Let's start simple and then progress on everything we learn. The first chord I'm doing actually only includes 3 different notes. Let's start with the root note, drag it out to here, and then we just skip 2 notes, which now sounds like this. And I know what you're thinking, what the hell? But don't worry, we can select these, copy them over. On Mac, that's Command B. Now let's only take this note and go up by 1/2 step. And that's already the dark sound that you're looking for. Now you can take the root note just to not have it all playing in the same range. Maybe you want to pitch it down even more. This sounds a bit high, so let's go down. Command, arrow key down. And you can really copy this over. We can increase the BPM. Let's maybe go up to 200 BPM, and you might think, why are you working in 200 BPM? But in my video on how to make authentic sounding Detroit and Flint Type beats, I'm explaining why. So it's just a personal preference, but also what I recommend you doing if you want to make authentic sounding beats. So once you have your chord progression, you can swap out the sound for something a bit more eerie. So let's try that out with a pad. I'll open up Analog Lab, which has quite cool pads. Now that you have the chord progression, you can play around with the rhythm to adjust it to whatever you want. This is just very simple right now, but it still would work for something like a Detroit type beat, drill beat, or something else that requires you to have a dark mood. Let's expand on this chord and go into something slightly more melodic. So I've got FL keys open again. I left my scale at G minor because that's fine. Let's build a triad. To build a triad, you would start at the root note and then skip 1, 2, 3, and then skip 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you've got your first triad. To expand on that, just copy these over and go down by 5. Now you have a quite generic triad chord. To make it a bit more interesting, let's take this note and transpose it up 1 octave. Let's copy this over and go down 2. Because you have the scale turned on in the piano roll, you can't make many mistakes. One thing you have to look out for is that all your notes are placed in the light boxes rather than the blacked out ones. So let's take this and go up 1. Let's add a third chord. What I would do is take this chord, maybe shorten it like this, copy it over, increase the length, go down by 2. And you can see these are already in the scale. So let's see what that sounds like. Now, if you would want to build a melody on top of these chords, all you would need to do is just click something in, paying attention that you stay in the grayed out spaces. And at the end, you could maybe copy this chord over. Another bonus tip, if you want your chords to sound a bit more realistic, Option S will strum your chords. Option I can randomize the velocity because no keyboard player would always hit every key at the same strength. So this will make it a bit more realistic. So the way I clicked it in, the notes are overlapping, which might sound okay on an actual piano, but once you switch to something like a synth sound, it might sound a bit chaotic. So one thing I can recommend doing is Command L on Mac. This will shorten the length of your notes, so it doesn't sound too cluttered. And if you would take this melody and add a bit of reverb, maybe some halftime. So these chord progressions should give you a perfect foundation for melodic trap beats, something for Gunner, for example. And if you're looking for more sounds in that lane, check out my pack Teardrops, which includes guitar samples, some vocal chops, and the perfect drums to make these kind of beats. So now you learned how to make dark chords for Flint, Detroit, or drill type beats, more melodic chord progressions for Gunner type beat. Let me show you how to build West Coast chords. To build a West Coast trap chord progression, perfect for beats for Shoreline Mafia, OGZ, YG, and more, you will start again at the root note, skip 2, 1, 2, choose the note right above it, and then you skip again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's listen to that. Where to go from here? Just copy it over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have all your notes playing in the same spectrum. I would again choose the root notes and transpose them down 1 octave. Let's check out what that sounds like. Let's strum the notes, randomize the velocity a bit, and let's replace this for something like a Rhodes sound. Same as before, you can transpose the notes to see if you can find something a bit more interesting, because right now it sounds slightly generic. Maybe we can have this note transposed up and transpose this one back down. Let's actually copy these chords over, transpose this one down again, and maybe let's transpose this one down as well, and see what that sounds like. These are the same 2 chord progressions, but because of the voicing, they're going to sound different. If you want to build a melody using these chords, you would just change the timing of when each note comes in. Maybe this one over here, and this one here. So these chords in this melody would be perfect for someone like OGZ, I think. I do have a West Coast pack coming on Origin Sound very soon, which includes tons of elements which are perfect to complement chords like these.